I'm coming. I'm coming. Sorry I'm late. Just get out of class.
Oh, how's that going for you?
Well, pretty good, but Mom, I don't think I'm going to be able to afford college.
No?
No. So.
Did you do any pre-planning for college?
No, I didn't. So maybe we could ask Mike and Sandy, the real parents at therealparents.com, to give us some ideas about how we can pay for college.
Well, you know, that's exactly what the thought was on my mind. I was counting my money here and realizing 3 kids, college, that's expensive. How are we going to afford that? I checked out a great website and got the information.
If you're looking for tips and tricks when it comes to paying for college educations, she's got the
your
inside
gal.
info. So I'm going to sit back and let her tell us all about it.
Well, actually, I started college, what, 19, 20 years ago?
Long time.
I only graduated 2 years ago because I spent a lot of time in college. I've got a lot of credits, but I also got a lot of financial aid, grants, scholarships, and such because I kind of worked the system. You need to know what to do.
Congratulations, by the way.
Thank you. So actually, I went to a website that has some great information. It kind of consolidates a lot of what I have learned in the past. Well, when I say one tip right off the bat, if you're going to college, if you live in the state, you're going to save, of course, half or half price college or more. So, for instance, I lived in New Jersey. I went to school in Ohio to begin with at Kent State University. When I moved out there, I paid twice the tuition as someone who was in state because I was an out-of-state resident. Had I stayed there and worked for a year, I would have saved half the cost of the tuition for the first year. I could have made money that year and gotten college the next year. That's one tip to save a lot of money the first year. Now, the second thing is I was on my parents' tax return. So they claimed to me, so I actually had to fill out my financial aid papers, and there's a website you go to for that. It's the FAFSA website. I'll tell you about that in a minute.
Can I mention something real quick?
Yeah.
In regards to tax returns and
Right.
whatnot, I was just thinking that these are 2 quick tips, if I may, that could really benefit people that are actually in business, parents that are in business.
Okay.
Paying for college education.
Oh.
Depending on if you're incorporated and the type of business that you have, there's several ways that you could actually deduct your children's college education through your business. You can either do it through an educational assistance plan that you set up in your corporation.
Here's our tax strategist. I forgot your background.
Yeah, or there's actually specific trusts that you can set up that basically would be 100% tax deduction for your children's college education. So if it's, $30,000 a year for 4 years, it's $120,000 come right off the tip of your tax return. So check with your accountant because there are ways that you can deduct it through your business.
Okay, excellent. Great ideas. So another thing is to get off your parents' tax return. So what I did is I moved out to Ohio. I started going the first year without working first, and that's fine if you want to get moving right away. But just be aware you're going to be paying twice the price typically for an out-of-state resident. The next year you're considered an in-state resident as long as you've gotten your driver's license there and claimed residency. You have an address. The second thing is like I said, get off your parents' tax returns if you can. So if they no longer claim you, then you could claim you're independent. And then your financial aid packet is based on your income, not your parents. So all of a sudden, year 2, I was getting all kinds of grants. The first year I was getting parent student loans, which were more money, more expensive for me in the long run and them. And the second year I got a lot of grants, which you don't pay back, scholarships you don't pay back, and I also got some financial aid mixed in there as well. But they give you extra money for room and board and for living expenses. So here from greatschools.net is a great information here about financial aid. You could go on this website, greatschools.net, and it's called the application you make for financial aid is called the FAFSA, which is FAFSA. And they have a link to the website there. I believe it's FAFSA.edu, but you could just check on their website. Now, you complete that there, and you complete that before you start your first year. There is deadlines for that, so be sure you get in there. Of course, don't forget to take your pre-college exams. They used to be SATs, the ACTs, there's different exams you take for that. Scholarships are available at different colleges and also from your high school. I got one for taking a lot of business classes. $500, I really didn't do any much.
A lot of local civic groups will have different scholarships, and you just keep your eyes and ears open, especially in your sophomore, junior, and senior year.
Yeah, well, actually, when I was graduating high school, I actually just wrote. It was like a tiny, 2-page paper about why I was interested in business. And
she's a regular Longfellow.
Yes, and I got $500 just for that, and that was 20 years ago. Okay, tax breaks, Mike's talked about already. That's great information. Borrowing from your retirement plan, again, that's something that you want to discuss with your accountant.
Financial advisor.
Yeah,
there's ways of doing that.
From your 401k, and so just, there is, I guess, some benefits and some negative drawbacks, so look into that. That information is also on greatschools.net. There's a link there for thinking twice about if you're going to do that or not. Community college, the first 2 years you go to school is basically liberal arts. No matter what your major is, you're taking history and English and science all over again. If you go to a community college as opposed to a 4-year institution, you can save yourself a boatload of money. So if you stay in state and go there, you can save yourself a boatload of money. But if you don't want that, that's fine. This is just some tactics. If you can't go any other route.
You're saving yourself some money on the room and board there too, because basically you can stay living home with mom and dad if you're at a community college and work while you're going to school.
Absolutely. Another option is to work while you're going to college, while you're in school, which I did. I bartended while
I
I was
must
in
be
school.
the great Kreskin. I can read her mind.
ROTC, ROTC. I actually walked into the wrong office by accident. I was asking for directions at Air Force ROTC at Kent State, and they signed me up for the class. Not ROTC, not the Armed Forces, but the class. And that was a little interesting, but I guess I didn't stick with it, but if I did, I could have had some, if you're interested in the military, I had some college paid for.
She looked pretty cute in that beret as well.
I actually did like that. It was a little French beret. It was very cute. I was kind of like Private Benjamin, so I really didn't fit in too well. So then another thing is they have on here
take orders.
affinity programs, and that's savings clubs, such as that You Promise that they have, frequent flyer programs. You can get points for purchasing goods and services at participating merchants. So that's, again, information on greatschools.net. That's a little background on getting to college financial aid 101.
The key is to
go to college.
To plan a little bit. Yeah, to plan a little bit, and certainly education is important.
I got to catch up for class.
Sandy gave us some great tips on that. So we appreciate you guys coming here and getting some tips and tricks from us here at therealparents.com.
I'll see you after class.
Tune in real soon because we're going to give you another great video.